breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page life is about to be. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, and if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells you when Mike leaves you rain. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, how about that? What's up, everybody? It's been forever. Where's everybody been? We've been busy. Weather's been wacky. We are in a little quiet stretch right now. But man, we have had some wild weather. Virginia with the EF3. We had an EF2 here down in southeast Florida. What the heck's up with that? We had an EF1 over there in southwest Florida. We had hail every day. What's going on with all that? It's why we love weather. Hey, so we're at Hurricane Awareness Week. Got some stuff to share. I'm going to say hi to some folks. And we'll talk about all kinds of stuff. We got some important dates coming up. We got May 15th, which is just, 12 days from now. The National Hurricane Center will be updating their 2-day and now 7-day maps. These little guys right here. This one and this one. Those are check marks. 7-day map, 2-day map. These will be updated May 15th. Every 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern. No more 5-day. Now it's 7-day map. So let the anticipation begin with longer outlooks. Can't wait for that. Good morning, Jonathan Heaton over there, South Carolina. I see some Texas folk in there. What's up, James Fort? I was in Texas this week. I'm gonna tell you all about my crazy shenanigans. I actually had to message Shelly. I'm like, why did we take Friday off again? I couldn't even remember, man. My brain is so fried. So much going on. Mr. Harold, how's it going? Katie Haley, good morning. Katie's getting excited for the cruise. This is little Hunter, by the way, everybody. Everybody always asks how Hunter's doing. He's doing really good. I think his skin is getting better. He's pretty healthy. He's very playful. He's a good boy. I love him. But he's doing a lot better. Everybody's always asking. So what is our Daily Brew? We're getting bigger here. We're streaming live on Facebook and, of course, YouTube. Our wonderful Daily Brew show is brought to you by our great friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, located here in the great state of Florida. I was pulling up our old commercial that they did last year that went viral, the Storm Essentials video. They're going to do some more commercials this year. I'll show the link again later today as a flashback, but had a lot of fun doing the Florida Storm Essentials commercial. You might have seen it during peak of season. But it's getting that time. Hurricane Awareness Week's going on right now. The hurricane hunters are making their tour. I was in Houston a couple days ago. If you happen to go to my Facebook page and Twitter page, I've been posting daily updates. They've been doing I think there's going to be 7 days of hurricane preparedness notes, hurricane awareness notes. We're on day 3 right now. 1, 2, 3, I think, or day 4. Hell, I don't even know. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, day 4. We're on day 4. So and I pinned them all. So we have 4 days of hurricane links so far, with some great information about the hurricane season. And they'll have a new one tomorrow on Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday. I don't know if it's 7 days or not, but right now we're on day 4. So that's what we got going on. So everything for me started last Thursday. This is one of those crazy storm days. We were tracking the storm cloud. I was on the Beeline Expressway and ended up at the Cape Canaveral over there in Cocoa Beach. And had incredible video. We were right underneath this tornado-warned cell. Had clear spinach. Never really made a touchdown, but it was tornado warnings going off left and right. You could actually see it right there. Somebody actually shared that on Twitter, by the way. It was like the 20-second mark. Let me see if I can find it right here. Right. Oh, there. A moment that maybe we had touchdown. I don't know. But anyway, that was a wild storm chase. We had hail, tornado warnings. This was around Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral area. That was an intense chase right by Shelly's house. That was one of my crazy days. And I can't call Cocoa Beach, right, Shelly? That's 2 different things. Then Friday, check this out. Friday, I was invited to go to see this motion picture that debuted here at St. Petersburg. It's not out yet. There is a trailer out for it. I'll share that later on YouTube. I had so many top people from the state and from the county here. It was a sold-out show. My friend Jonathan and Brandon were there weather chasing. You know, I was excited about meeting Brandon and weather chasing, WX chasing. So the name of the film is Price of Paradise, Surviving Hurricane Ian. It was a very touching movie. I actually cried a little bit in it. A lot of people did. It's a first-hand POV style movie where the folks that they focused on were the ones telling the story, and there was about 3 or 4 different groups of folks that had different stories surviving the storm. So intense footage. You will not believe it when it comes out. But I was very thankful to meet them and be invited for that. We went back to their house, had a few drinks. It was a lot of fun. So then on Sunday, I got to go to the Hurricane Hunters and flew out there. And Monday, I was in Houston. So what an amazing experience that was. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. Shelly says, Coco's mainlanders people. Cocoa Beach or Barrier Islands. Okay, I get it. What's up, V Flood? What's up, John, Deadman, Fred, Tommy over there, Nancy Powers. What's up, Bobby? Katie just watched the trailer. Yeah, it was intense. Kenneth James back. 200 stars. Thanks, buddy. Oh, Kenneth, I just read your other post. Sorry about that, buddy. I hate to hear that. Tim, I'd love to have the dogs in the commercials. We are going to push the dogs. Bobby from Mississippi. Let's do it. Retro shirt on. Coffee. Convention, Texas. All right, so here's what we got. All right, so it definitely was a great experience with the Hurricane Hunters on Monday. I was out there with the Furman Power Equipment crew, and they were invited with Lowe's. All the big national hurricanes director was there. FEMA was there. I bought a koozie. Bought a couple shirts for the girls. But it was really great to be amongst all the big dogs in the weather world, and met some followers of our page. The chief meteorologist that actually rides in the planes was here on the bottom left. She is a big follower of our page, and she told me so much about the radar, how she sits there, and they basically is a weather station on board of the Hurricane Hunter ship. So I got to see where she sits and all the data that she's pulling in. The drop sounds that or drop zones. I still don't know how to say it. I asked them, but I learned all about drop zones and how they work, and very fascinating about how they deploy them, the data that they collect, how many they drop. All this stuff we talk about during hurricane season, but I've never experienced it firsthand. So now I even have a better understanding. I got to sit on the pilot seat, talk to the pilots, and learned a lot about that. So even met the mechanic that lives in Lakeland, and he was a big fan, and he even did a TikTok about our page. He was excited to see me, and it was fun talking to him, man, learn about the props and the maintenance they do in between flights. His important role was very fascinating to me, how when they land, what they got to go through to get them back ready to take another flight. So it was an amazing experience for me. So happy to be able to go. And again, this is National Hurricane Awareness Week, and National Weather Service has been teasing some new products, and got excited yesterday. They announced that they're going to have a new storm surge map. So they upgraded the probabilistic storm surge P-surge model, which is what we use to show potential impacts from surge. So that'll be really interesting to see that in effect. So it's a little bit of hurricane news that the Hurricane Center is excited about, is this new surge map that they're going to be introducing this year that I'll be able to share everybody and do that. So that was pretty cool. And then the last thing, we'll get into weather. There's really not a lot of weather, but I do want to share this. It's coming up this weekend. But I'm excited. Local hometown, Oldsmar, Pinellas County, our Hurricane Expos this week. And we'll be giving away a lot of cool stuff, including a Furman generator. Thanks to our good buddies at Furman. They're going to be giving away one just by showing up. So I'm going to speak at 10:30 in the morning on Saturday this weekend coming up. It's in Oldsmar. It's free. A lot of great folks are there from the county. FEMA's even coming to help just do a display table to share information. A lot of people always have questions about FEMA. When does that kick in? How do you apply? What do they cover? Those are big questions I always get. So I reached out to my buddy Scott from FEMA. He was able to arrange some local representatives to be here for our Oldsmar Expo, which is great. So that's something new. And of course, we have all the county there, EOC there, Sheriff Department, Fire Department. A lot of great information. I'm really excited about it. Learning about evacuation zones, sandbags, Lure, Pinellas. So yeah, that's this weekend. I'm really excited about it, and hope everybody can come out if you live in the area. All right. So there you go. That's everything in a nutshell. What's going on? Here's radar. Really nothing going. We had this massive low pressure area. Let's see if I can find it. I bet you Wendy will show it. So we had this thing called Omega Block. Well, that's not the right one. Where did that come from? Let's see if I can go to maybe 850, maybe see it. Can't really see it on this too well. Here's the actual what's going on now. Then I'll show you the Omega Block. So we had this upper level low over the Great Lakes region for like a week. And this has been spinning in counterclockwise, been pulling in cold Arctic air from the Canadian, we call them Attic air. But we've had a tremendous flow of cool, cold air, a lot of winds across the mid-Atlantic the last few days. Cooled even as far south as Florida, definitely through the southeast. You can see the rotation. This has been going on quite a bit. Now, when this low is, whoops, wrong graphic here. Let me go back. So we had a high. So we had this low, and we had a high. And kind of makes this funky little Omega sign. They call it Omega Block. So I put a post about it. I really don't know much about it, but I learned something new yesterday. It was a positioning of two lows and a high. Pretty fascinating. It changes the weather in the Midwest. So if you want to read more, you can look up the Omega Block. You can kind of see it. I went on Tropical Tidbits yesterday, and you can kind of see it a little bit here with our high and our low and our low. That's kind of what it looks like. You get a big low pressure in the west, low pressure on the east, and then you got the big high pressure in the middle, and it kind of controls the weather a little bit. So, for what it's worth. But that big low pressure has been hanging out. Even brought some snow to West Virginia. It might be snowing right now, actually. We had snow in the Appalachians. We had some rare snow. There you go right now. It's snowing in West Virginia. It's current. Now, I got family in Warren, Pennsylvania. And look at that. All that snow across Pennsylvania even this morning. This is all because we have this air blowing in from Canada. And we have moisture. And it's bringing winter precipitation. I was talking to my dad, right, yesterday. Dad grew up in Warren, Pennsylvania, which is like northeast Pennsylvania, and he said it's pretty rare to have snow May the 3rd. Very rare. I mean, he grew up there. Now, they've experienced snow maybe a little later, but it's not very often. Not very often you get snow in May. So there you go. Add that to the wacky weather list of 2023. It's current snow right now falling in Johnstown down through West Virginia currently. So near State College, that's a big meteorology school. I think that's where our buddy Dennis Phillips went for his tenureship. Here's the latest weather map. So the one thing happening today, we'll get into this. Let me say some more highs here. I've been rambling on. Riptide. 3 inches of snow up north. Tim Bullen, yeah, New England is didn't really have a lot of snow. It's weird. Where's our buddy Eric at? We got to talk about the Rays. Oh, there's Eric. What's up, buddy? The Rays, man. Got a tough series going on, man. We got Pirates and Yankees. They got to prove themselves. So, anyway, we got a red flag warning. Hey, by the way, one more thing exciting. The GHC's next week, the Governor's Hurricane Conference, the biggest hurricane conference in the nation, is next week. I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going to post information about that here in a little bit. So if you're going to the Governor's Hurricane Conference, I would love to see you. I think I'm in booth 511. I'm going to post a graphic showing where I'm at, but I'm really excited to be there again at the GHC. So if you're going to the GHC next week, I'll see you there. I'm going to learn more about weather. Did you see that picture of the little boy that I took? Little boy and his mom walked up, and she was a big fan. She's like, "Oh, hey, I follow you, Mike." And the boy was a huge weather fan. He had a weather tornado shirt on, and long story short, he follows Reed Timmer and a bunch of other weather people. His mom showed me her app, or her phone, and he's got all these weather apps, every radar app. And he loves Reed Timmer, so I reached out to Reed on Twitter and asked him to say hey to Lyle, and guess what? Reed reached out and said, "Hey, Lyle," and the mom took a picture of us, and she was very happy. Lyle was really excited, so pretty cool story. It was really neat to talk to him. I probably talked to him like 15 minutes. You know how I like to talk. But he seemed very interested, so it was a really cool moment in Texas. All right, and then I did get barbecue in Texas, by the way. Everybody said, I posted I was at Chili's. They're like, "Why are you going to Chili's in Texas?" Well, first off, it was by the hotel. And secondly, I went to barbecue, and it was great. Great Lakes on a cruise. Tracy, how do you go to the Great Lakes on a cruise? Do they have a ship on the Great Lakes? Tell me about that. Tim Bullen, yes. I love Reed. Yeah, he's a good guy. I told Shelly that, hanging out with Brandon, Jonathan, weather chasing folks, knowing Reed, knowing Jim Cantori, I really can't believe to be involved in their circle. It's a huge weather world, but I felt like, we connected, and I really love Brandon. We started out in a really weird story I've shared before, but he's a great guy, and I'm just so happy now to kind of be included in this tight little weather circle. It's really awesome, and that includes all y'all. Like, when I'm included in these little tight circles, that's Mike's weather page, and that means all of you all are now included in this tight little circle. We respect Reed, we respect Brandon, I respect Jim Cantori, of course, all our local weather peeps here in town. Got to hang out with Bobby Deskins a lot this week. Great guy. Chief met here in Tampa Bay. He's a big fan of our page. So, Yeah, it's great. It's been a great, great run for sure. But anyway, a little bit of weather to talk about. There's not a lot to talk about this week, but there's these little red guys. We're in a red flag warning. This is something new I kind of learned over the years too. So red flag warnings are higher fire danger than normal. So what it takes? One, it takes winds. Well, we saw this already, right? We already got these winds blowing in from that low pressure area. So we have high winds. The second thing that we got here is this low humidity. And this is some pretty low humidity for this time of year. Shockingly low humidity. So let's take a look at humidity for later today. Unbelievably low humidity. Look at this. I'm going to open this up into a new tab. Look at that. The teens. We have humidity in the teens and 20% range all across the South. Teens and 20s. That is like super duper dry air. Even 30% humidity down in South Florida, which is pretty low for South Florida. Still a little humid. Still a little humid on the southwest coast. This is because we have this lingering front. It actually doesn't have any moisture to it. But it's worth pointing out, just to give you an idea what's going on here. Pretty cool to look at. This is high resolution. Let's crash Chrome here. Didn't happen. I thought it would. A pretty big file. I can't even make out Florida. Florida's right here. See, you gotta look really hard. And there it is right here. There's Florida. See? There's Florida. Now you see it. So we got believe it or not, that front's kind of stalled a little bit over top of Florida. I confirmed that this morning on my page, of course. You go to Mike's weather page, and you go to the surface charts, and here's the surface chart. Look, this is the current surface chart. There's a frontal line, right? So you go back to the water vapor loop. There's a frontal line. So we have increased moisture kind of hanging out on the Florida southwest coast. Up in the mountains here, you can see a little bit of moisture, and we got a little bit of moisture across upper Gulf too. And now this is going to feed into the storms later today. We do have storms to talk about here. Nothing out of the normal right here. Just wind. I mean, just a line of storms. High pressure is basically blocking the south again. Here's tomorrow. Storms. We got a little hail set up again for Texas. But this is tomorrow. Then you go to Friday. Maybe a little bit of storm. But we got a high pressure blocked in over top. So really nothing. And if you read the 4 to 8 day outlook, still Texas. Maybe some storms reaching towards southeast on Saturday. That's the next shot that we might get some action here as our system here kind of finally ends up trying to come across. So, maybe some storms return Saturday, maybe across the south. Very random, nothing organized. High pressure here moving out a little bit. You see this low here? There's our low. There's our high. High sliding out. Some of this low pressure energy coming up and creating some instability, maybe. So not a huge chance. Nothing's really majorly organized, but you never know. I mean, little low. There's that low showing up, maybe. But nothing at this point. Nothing's organized enough to talk about. So that's the only time I really start talking about things is when there's high confidence that, we'll see. So there is, Saturday we could see a little bit more chances of some storms, maybe. For that, some of your rain outlook maps. Let's see that. Just kind of fun here. Not a lot of rain in the forecast for southeast, at least through Friday. Here's total rain. This is through Monday. Today's Wednesday. So here's your rain accumulation through Monday. And look, southeast, nothing. So it's dry. It's going to stay dry. Like I said, that front coming in over the weekend. Maybe some rain. No, this is all your rainfall through Saturday. So really, it doesn't look like. Here's 24-hour rains. Let's take a look at that. A little bit of rain here. This is Friday. There's your Texas rains. We already talked about storms on Friday. But here's the Saturday rains. Maybe some stuff across the upper Gulf. Maybe Carolinas Saturday into Sunday. But nothing really organized yet. So talk about that. All right, I got some hurricane chit-chat to talk about. So we're kind of slow. I shared this link a little bit ago. Weather Station, Mother's Day, Father's Day is coming up, 10% off. People ask me all the time about that. That's on there. I'm going to debut our new shirt for 2023 that says it only takes one. We're going to debut that on May 15th, the first day of daily outlooks from the NHC. So excited about that. Excited about YouTube getting stronger. We got a lot of people watching there. And of course, you can always check our live streaming there when you go storm chasing. So welcome to all the YouTubers. And there you go. So I don't know. That's about it for weather. Not much talking about. Now, hurricanes. So everybody's really getting in. Oh, and here's one of these links that I shared. So look on the top of the Facebook page. I got these pinned. These are day 4. Every day now we got 4 of these hurricane preparedness graphics. Today is all about get moving when a storm threatens. And like I said, there's been one on day Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then this is today. This is Wednesday. So there'll be a new one tomorrow on Friday and I think Saturday. There'll be 7 days of hurricane preparedness links. And again, what I might do too, I think I'm going to, when they're all done, I think I'm going to put all 7 on the webpage, at least for a little while. So you can see them. And, some good information. It's always good to be informed. Right? Right. All right. Selling coffee. Oh, Shelly, you secretive little girl. That's James. Hey, Bobby. What are you doing? What do you think, Bobby? So my theory on hurricanes. So we have a little cooler waters right now, but the big discussion is the Atlantic warming up. Thank you, Loretta Reed. Good morning. Oh, Tracy, how's your puppies doing? I thought about you the other day with your dogs. Tom Baffa, what's up, buddy? Good morning, Miss Vivids. Cheryl, loving that low humidity. We used to have a humidity gauge for hair. Garage door weakness, Josh. Yeah, I didn't read that one either, but hey, garage doors buckle. Like I saw that when I toured Rotunda after the storm. So many garage doors were blown in. So many. But anyway, so I shared this little Twitter thing. Let me go back. I just followed this guy, new guy. This is Kalen Patel, is his name. This is a tracking of sea surface temperatures for the Atlantic. And the blue is now, the black is mean. The black mean means averages. And all it's basically saying is the water temperatures are really becoming overall warmer. They peak around September, October as far as sea surface temperatures go. That's why August, September, October we were, peak of season usually August, September, October. That's when the water's the hottest, especially down in the Caribbean. But this was an interesting graphic I just ran across this morning that shows where we're at now. And this is this water temperature now here is where we normally see it in the middle of August. So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean... I don't know what it means. It just means that, hey, people ask me all the time, what are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about that? I don't know. I just go with facts at this point. And the facts are the waters are warmer than normal, which means could boost the tropics. Now we have El Nino coming, which should bring shear to the Caribbean and the main development region. It should. It depends on how long it takes to get here. Sometimes the effects aren't felt for months. And it also doesn't mean that it doesn't stop homegrown systems in the Gulf of Mexico and Western Atlantic. I've seen it too many times. But this is an interesting graphic. We'll see where that trend goes. For sure. But let me show you what I'm thinking here. Let's pull up this map. All right. This is distracting, I think, with the GIF. So let's pull up just a random one here. Let's pull up this one here. All right. All right. So, interesting, right? Let's talk about it. All right. So, let's say that this area here typically has a lot of wind shear during El Nino. Typically, I shared the graph from 2018. 2018 almost had nothing in this area here during 2018 because 2018 was an El Nino year. So there's a lot of talk about us entering El Nino, which should reduce the amount of hurricane names. However, it doesn't matter how many names we have. It only takes one. 2021 is a great example of that. We had the third most active season with 21 storms that year. And really, Ida was the only storm that stood out as a land falling continental U.S. hurricane for 18. And like I said, 21 had the third most active names. Doesn't matter how many names we have. It only takes one. So we might get less numbers because of this. Like 18, great for Caribbean folks. Great, right? Sometimes these waves come across and they enter this shear zone and they get ripped apart. So, could be great news for the Caribbean if this El Nino comes to play. The only thing that I see over the years is this, and this is the truth. 18, we had Michael. 18, we had Florence. Florence went around this year and did that. Michael didn't care about the shear down here, and homegrown didn't care about that. So bottom line is, because the water's hot in our main development region here, we got to be really alert. What happened in Fort Lauderdale the other day was a little bit of moisture flow here, warmer Gulf Stream right now. Endless fuel, that Gulf Stream pumps a lot of warm water, and that's what you worry about with these storms. Loop eddies, loop currents, and here's that warm Gulf Stream right now, and it's warmer than normal right now. So when we had that system the other day, we had an inflow of an old frontal boundary, and we had a low pressure system here, and it just pretty much stopped, and it fed off of this Gulf Stream, is my theory. Nobody ever really knows, but it was like, 28 inches or something in a day and a half. So whenever you get more hot water, things can happen. 10 storms have been 150 miles an hour plus that have hit the continental U.S. 10. 9 of those were tropical storms 3 days out. So even if a seed comes through this area here, a seed meaning like an old tropical wave. You remember Harvey? Harvey dissipated, and it popped across the Yucatan. Next thing you know. So, this warm water, a lot of folks are starting to realize the warm water might offset the effects of El Nino. That's what I'm getting at. So, I'm not getting too wrapped up in this whole El Nino thing yet. Never have. Only takes one. The other anomaly that I'm really pointing out, and I sound like a broken record, but looking back at 2004, we had Jean, we had Francis, right? 2 storms, and 2004 was an El Nino year. 2004 was an El Nino year. Joaquin was an El Nino year. Started here. Went that way. Bad storm. Florence. Now, Andrew started out the year as an El Nino year. By peak of season, it was back to neutral, but a lot of folks think it takes months for the effects to be felt. So Norcross considered that an El Nino year. Well, if that's the case, Dorian had the exact same Enzo numbers as Andrew. Both of those, basically. So the point is, Gene, Francis, Andrew, Dorian, and Florence all missed this, is what I'm getting at. I don't know if the high pressure moves. I was talking to a couple of meteorologists at the Hurricane Hunter thing I went to. My theory is maybe that Bermuda High shifts a little bit, allowing more of a pattern like that. I don't know, but I am saying that during El Nino years, we've had more of an East Coast impact. Plus, homegrown always is a worry. So that's, a lot of chit chat about the water temperatures right now being warmer than normal. That's a lot of the chit chat right now. So we'll see. We don't look at the Atlantic early season stuff. Rarely do they come across until maybe, here's the hot spots for July. So you're going to hear a lot about sow and dust and stuff. This time of year, it's very normal to have heavy dust concentrations. Typical storms, though, do not even start until, this is July. So early season, May, June, July, even first part of August, we're going to get a lot of sow, Saharan air layer. It's not really unnormal at all. We don't really look into the Atlantic region until peak season. August is here, and then September, obviously, the big month. As we get waves come across, and then we get to October. October ends up being more watching down here coming up. And, of course, if you live across southeast Texas, usually it's cut off because of frontal lines. But if you live, upper Gulf, especially Florida, usually your worst months on the west coast of Florida are October because we have systems popping up from the Caribbean. And frontal boundaries bend them out to sea, and they turn northeast due to the Coriolis effect. So, yes, 2015, Tom, was a El Nino year. I've been trying to I used to not care about history. I know Bobby, if you're over there, Bobby used to always talk about history. And I'm really starting to look at history and realize that history kind of repeats itself. Here's 2015, Tom. It was a strong El Nino year, and that was, of course, that was a major hurricane. I brought up a fact from 2019. What the hell year was it? 2004? Can't remember now. Was it 2004? I think it was 2004. 2004. Let me see. Was it 4? No. 94 maybe. Hell, I don't know. 85. 84. No, what am I doing? 1984. 1984. All these years run together. No, it wasn't it. What the hell, man? Now I'm all messed up. I can't remember the year. Alicia. That was the one. Okay. 2003 hurricane season. Let me see if I can find the graphic on that real quick, and I'll pull it up. Images. And I don't know if I can find it or not. We only had 4 storms that year. But the point of the deal was we only had four storms, I think, was it? I know what we'll do here. Oh, actually, you know what I can do here? This is a trick I learned. Watch this. All right. Trick I learned. All right, go to this graphic. Oh, that's the latest. Let's see here. 2021 hurricane season. Let's pull this map up. Images. And there it is here. All right, cool. Open link, open image, new tab. and what year did I say it was? 1984 or 3? I don't remember now. Oh man, I'm lost. One more try. There it is. God, I knew it. I never quit. I have very obsessive personality. I always win. All right, so we need some coffee on that one. What are y'all talking about? Bobby, history repeats itself when you look at Ian and Charlie, and was it Francis and Nicole or Jean? I can't remember those two. Hey, I don't know about S. Juster, is that how you say your name? I'm gonna reach out. I got a buddy, Billy Mukazes. His dad John was in my wedding. In fact, Mookie usually is in here saying hi, but he has a really big garage door company here. In fact, let me find it here. Can't remember the name here. Let's see here. I'm gonna reach out to him. Maybe he'd give us some. Let's see if I can find his website. I can't remember what the hell's. I want to maybe that'd be something we do. I have to find it. Again, here I go again. But anyway, maybe that'd be a good thing to talk about the next time. This garage door stuff. Just you know, I always heard if you pull your car up in the garage, maybe and touch it, kind of maybe make a brace. You know, maybe it'll help. Maybe. My theory too is with pool screen enclosures would all blow apart. I've seen so many pool screen enclosures gone during Ian. I wonder if you cut the screens. I googled that. If there's a Mythbusters on that. If you cut the screen out, does it? I'm thinking it might. I need new screens as it is, so if we have a hurricane, I'm going to cut like one on all 3 corners on the bottom, allow some airflow. But if you want to look back at a slow season, 1983, there was 4 storms. 4. Only 4. Everybody probably said, oh, the season's a bust. There was only 4 storms. But guess what? We had major Hurricane Alicia. And I think it went to Houston because I'm looking at it right now. But I was talking to some people in Houston about Alicia. So again, 4 storms that year. We still had a major hurricane that hit the United States. So, you know, it only takes one. I know it sounds repetitive, but I'm afraid everybody gets wrapped up in numbers. They don't really. They want numbers. You know, they want numbers. But like I said, you can have all fish storms. So we get way too wrapped up in numbers. You know. I think we need to look at reality and see the water temperatures are warm. That's fuel. You know, a slow-moving tropical system sometimes is far worse than a hurricane with speed. You know, flooding could be way more widespread damage and death. I hate to say it. There's a new graphic that I just found that updates the stats, because I always tell people about 90% of deaths are water related. So there's a new graphic that just came out, so I'm going to be uploading that to my presentation for Oldsmar. But it talks about inland flooding is one of the biggest deaths for hurricanes. So anyway, Charlie, you guys lost your screen there. A lot of, yeah, Jamie, you guys had that big wind event came across. What's up, Scott? Yeah. So anyway, that only takes one. I think what I want to talk about Friday, we're going to go into the cone a little bit. I talked to a lot of the meteorologists talked to about the cone and how the cone is needs to be tweaked. Everybody agrees the cone needs to be tweaked. Everybody agrees, but nobody knows what to do. So I don't think we're going to see any cone changes this year. And Ian unfortunately was a prime example of the cone. So I'm going to talk more about the cone on Friday. So we'll be live Friday. We'll be live Monday. Wednesday we're not live. We'll be down at the GHC. Possibly not live if I go down Tuesday night. And then we'll be back live Friday. So, but there's not a lot to talk about right now. So, once we get going, May 15th, we'll be going pretty much every day. We go live at night when there's a storm. We go live on the weekend when there's a storm. So, remember, if you are a Cat 5 subscriber, I'm really going to send out a lot more text alerts this year because the Cat 5 subscribers are the ones that are the biggest fans of the page and they want to know what's going on. So, a little perk, because it costs money, you get to sign up to a texting alert service. And I send texts out when we go live outside of the 919 range. People said it really helps them a lot, so that'll be new. And of course, I'll be doing the afternoon quickie videos, which everybody seems to like, and I'll upload those to all the platforms and let everybody know when those are out. So we got a good system coming in. How are the outlooks at the moment? Is it Megan or Megan? Megan Lane. Right now, most everybody's normal season. Colorado State University was the first, and they predicted El Nino will slow the hurricane season down, but then the warm waters will bring it back up to normal. So I think Caribbean will be slower than normal, but I think homegrown action will be above normal because of this placement of the El Nino and the warmer waters that we're seeing. And rapid intensification is real. I mean, that's just something we have to watch for, especially when the waters are warmer than normal. So, Eric, you guys are 90. Has anybody else noticed power bills? Like, does anybody live in Tampa? I mean, my power bill, I don't know why. It went from like $290 to $400 plus last month. I looked around the house. I'm like, I don't. It's not like we had Christmas lights up because that Christmas lights add about $100 to the power bill a month. But I was like, what the heck, man? I don't know. I don't know what happened. But let's look at temperatures. Eric's saying 90 degrees. Let's look at some temperature outlooks. Because when we have a high pressure locked in overhead, guess what? That means one thing. High equals heat. HH. That means things are going to get hot in a hurry. And that's the fact. Jack. All right. I want to go different. Let's go to NWS page. They're kind of, I like the official weather forecast page because they do daily high temperatures. All right. Highs today, got 90s touching South Florida, 80s up top. Here's tomorrow. Boom, more red. A lot of 80s across Louisiana. Upper 80s in Louisiana. Holy cow, look at Friday. Friday, we're back to... Man, you ain't kidding. I'm going to post that, Eric. 90s. 90s in Louisiana. Still cool across the Carolinas. These are high temperatures for Friday. That frontal line flattens out. But look at that. And then I don't even want to see Saturday. Oh, my God. Saturday. Jeez. Oh, my goodness. We might be touching hundreds in South Florida. That's hot. We got 90s all the way to Georgia. Hey, it's June. June's coming. Well, yeah, summer's here, man. Say, oh my God, the next 7 days we got summer, man. We got 80s even in the Carolinas. So your cool weather disappears. Here's Saturday for the Carolinas. Highs the 60s. Sunday 70s. Monday 80s. Guess what? Tuesday maybe upper 80s for the Carolinas. So anyway, so Shelly, your power bill increased. Man, I don't know how people can afford it. Lillian, you live in Citrus Park. Have you been to the Florida Cracker Seafood Kitchen yet? I love it. Hey, Lane, this donated off of YouTube. What's my prediction for the hurricane season? Well, I just mentioned it, but since you donated, I love it. We'll answer questions. I love that. So, I believe, number-wise, like I said all along, I don't think we're going to see whatever average numbers there are. But looking at history, I think we're going to see Gulf action, some storms in the Gulf to worry about because of the water temperature. Simple fact. If the water temperatures remain 5 to 10 degrees above normal, then we're going to see, I could see even have an early May system. Let me get into that here in a second. We're seeing some water or precipitation models showing May increased precipitation in the lower southeast. But my prediction is, East Coast system this year off the Atlantic. I'm going to stick with that because of what we've been seeing. If El Nino does verify, you might miss it, but I talk about it a lot. El Nino years have had many storms come towards the East Coast. They go around that shear zone and come up through the western Atlantic. So I'm predicting East Coast to watch in Gulf of Mexico. I mean, but it's because of history. Anybody can say, well, Gulf's got to watch out. I'm saying the Gulf's got to watch out because of the water temperature. Simple fact, boom. Loop eddies, loop current. We saw what the Gulf Stream did around Fort Lauderdale a couple weeks ago. Warm waters fuel. We saw it with Harvey. We saw it with all systems that have been able to ride loop currents and loop eddies. Warm water enables systems to produce. We've seen rapid intensification. I don't know, every year, 50, 60. We had Harvey, Laura, Ida, Ian, Dorian. It seems like every year, we're seeing a rapid intensification system. So I don't know if that's going to stop. I don't see how it's going to stop. So, yeah, number-wise, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just seeing this El Nino pattern of storms turning up into the East Coast. I see it very possible if history repeats itself. I'm really intrigued to watch the tracks of storms this year. It'd be an El Nino peak season, August, September, October. And then keep an eye on the Caribbean. I mean, the Caribbean waters are so hot right now. This graphic right here shows you that. These are your water temperatures, depth 20 degrees, 5.3. This was taken. Some of these colors you see in peak season, so the water temperatures, that's the water temperature below the surface. I've talked a lot about it over the years. Sea surface temperatures is not everything. It's the water below the surface because once that top layer gets used for those thunderstorms, if it starts upwelling cooler water, it can help, kind of slow the system down. So the warmer the water is below the surface as one tool to see potential, storm power. So, these loop currents, loop eddies, just always out there warming up the Gulf. And, subtropical jet, if the El Nino comes to play, we'll have a lot of wind shear across the south. However, anything outside of that wind shear zone could almost benefit sometimes from this subtropical jet setup. I mean, you figure winds here, counterclockwise flow. You never know. I mean, we see it in the main development region a lot of times. So anyway, I expect some big storms and some sneaky rainfall events that we got to worry about more than anything. So active as far as potential severity. not active as far as names. This is a great model on Tropical Tidbits. You can look at precipitation anomalies. This is weekly. I like to look at monthly. Just for the month of, let's see, June. Oh, wait a minute. That's July. I thought I had a May one. Well, anyway. So your monthly precipitation anomalies. Here we got two different ones. CFS is one. You know, you just see July. You know, main development region. I've never been a big fan of these long-range modeling, but, you know, if anything, it's showing increased precipitation across the main development region in the Western Atlantic for the month of July, August. Really getting juicy. You know, that's predicted moisture, whether or not it happens or not. But it's one tool the forecasters use. So, you know, we're going to have moisture in place. Let's look at SIPS model here. Here's May. This is May. You can see moisture here. So, you know, and then June. You know, so long range precipitation models showing potential higher than normal precipitation, which could indicate tropics. If you have low wind shear, a lot of components for tropical development, but like I said, they're not expected El Nino until later in the year, and sometimes it takes a few months after that for the effects to really be felt across the main development region. That's why a lot of forecasters are saying an El Nino winter is bad for the South because of moisture and storms, and you know that's when El Nino starts to see the effects towards later in the season, and a lot of wind shear the way the jet stream is. So, if anything, that's almost given based on history is an El Nino winter brings storms to the south and the east region across, you know, and when I say south, I mean, you know, like that, this area right here. To me, that's the south. This is the north. I don't know. I try to be very professional and say Mid-Atlantic or Mississippi Valley. I don't know. When I say Upper Gulf, this is what I mean by Upper Gulf. Upper Gulf. When I say Southeast, this is what I mean. Southeast. When I say Middle U.S., Middle U.S. Northeast, Northeast. And then when I say East Coast, everybody in Florida's like, I'm like, no, East Coast. This is also East Coast. So I have to clarify it. East Coast, then I put not Florida. That would be a new zone. East Coast, not Florida. Because when I say East Coast, everybody thinks I'm talking about Florida. But anyway. All right, what else is up? Lisa, yeah, no spring at all. I saw a funny, I don't remember the office that did it. It was a Twitter for somebody. But they were talking about the anomaly maps for temperature. And we're getting into a warm pattern. They're like, skip spring, automatically going into summer. That was for more of the Midwest, though. This one's just running now. We'll go 00Z. So here's your this week, April to May. No, 48 hours. Oh, this is May 10th to 17th. So basically next week, temperatures, this next week, few days, but anomalies for temperatures above normal for pretty much the whole U.S. leading up till May 17th. So these are cool to see. These are your anomaly maps. And like I said, they're not always 100%, but they give you an idea sometimes what's going on. I don't know. I've seen them fail more than win. Anyway. Samantha, there's really not a lot to worry about. Everybody wants to know we haven't rained today. We haven't rained today. Hey Don, when you say we haven't rained today, I don't know where you live, buddy. But future modeling, things are quiet. Let's take a look at the current HRRR for everybody. This is a cool little model. It'll show everybody what we got cooking. I don't think we got a lot cooking. Here we go. Like I said, high pressure. Actually, I showed a rain map for southeast all the way through Monday. Almost nothing all the way to Monday. This is rainfall through today. So this is all today. Nothing. A little bit of, oh my God, look at that snow, man. Isn't that nuts? Look at that. Heavy snow across West Virginia and parts of Maryland and Pennsylvania, man. That is just so rare. Lots of snow today. But, I mean, like I said, there's a little system here we were talking about that might bring some rain to the upper Gulf later Friday into Saturday maybe. But this is nothing in the southeast for the rest of the week. Weekend weather looks good. Like I said, there is a little increased chance for some storms across the south. This area here could up the rain chances in storms across the southeast. I bet you if I go to my local office here for us, I bet you they have Saturday chances at 30 right now. Let me take a guess. No, they don't have Saturday. That's great news. So they will though. They can start out kind of slow. Look at all that blah 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 blah. Man, I got a lot of windows. Let's see. Let's close them. I haven't crashed Chrome yet. Yay! But as I mentioned, we could have this area. So Friday. So here's Friday. This is all this Friday frontal line. There's low. There's high. It's moving its way Friday night. This is Friday 6 p.m. So we could see some storms upper Gulf Friday night. Some of this action is going to try to mingle in the south here. This is Saturday. So I suspect Saturday will be a little higher chances, but Friday night definitely looks like we could see some storms across the Gulf here, and GFS is showing it too. And going back to the HRRRRRRR, man, I got a lot of windows open. Jeez, how do I even know which one's what? I don't have any clue what I'm looking at here. Anyway, we go back to the HRRR. We can see that because it goes out 48 hours. So really, we got a lot of people watching in the southeast. So like I said, on Friday night, it only goes out 48 hours, but there's this Friday morning. We could see some of this reaching the upper Gulf Friday afternoon, Friday night. So that's really the next big chance of rain. Otherwise, the next 2 days are awesome. This is everything. Look at nothing. Nothing. Anyway. Harold, yeah, I do have the wildfire links. I don't have any new ones. The two best links for fire is Zoom Earth right here. Zoom Earth has a should have a fire. Do they still have that on there? I can't remember. Shelly, do they still have the fire link on here? Fire, there it is right here. So Zoom Earth has this fire and sources of heat. You hit this button, and what happened there? Oh, it's off. Now it's on. I don't see any right now. What's going on with that? There should be some, I thought. Well, then I have another link. Live U.S. fire map right here. And I haven't clicked on it in a while. Oh, yeah, there you go. So this is a really good one. So that one's still live right here, right below the drought meter map, which we should have a new drought meter tomorrow. But there it is, live U.S. fire map. Drought's still pretty strong here in Florida. We'll get a new map tomorrow. But there's your red. Still got an extreme drought here for west central Florida. That is why we have a red flag warning here across Georgia too. Big part of Georgia. And a big part of Florida. Low humidity, high winds, chance for fires. So, anyway, brown sugar. K. Miller, your golf tournament is going to be perfect. Eric, you got 2.66 inches of rain. That's pretty good. Cinnamon rolls. I'm trying to keto it. So enough of all that chatter about carbs. So Samantha Martin, I answered your question for you. No rain, Don. Wherever you're at, nobody's. Oh, Daytona Beach, Don. Hey, what's up, buddy? No rain, Don, for like 3 or 4 days, man. It's awesome. 5 days. Tracy, you're hot. That didn't come across too good. She has little hot emojis. So anyway, all right. Well, we're gonna roll. We did an hour. We try to go an hour. So we'll do live Friday. Remember, we got some fun stuff coming up. I got my Hurricane Expo this Saturday. We're gonna take a lot of video pictures of that. It was a great time hanging out with the Hurricane Hunters. I really enjoyed it. Had a great time hanging out with my Furman buddies. They got some new equipment coming out. The cool news for Furman, obviously you get 30% link just from our site. But the exciting news for Furman is they are now in every Lowe's. Big news for them. So I think they're stocking 4, maybe 6 of their brands at every Lowe's. That's huge. So I'm really happy to be part of their family and all that they do for our weather community. For sure. Good company. So we had a good time at the show. Carbs are good. I saved my carbs for highlight last night. I had a wedge salad and highlight. It was good. All right. Let's do a window count. I've already closed some. Let's just see what we got for fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. 34 tabs. We did it. All right. That's it. We will see everybody on Friday. Again, we still have some strong winds blowing here. Let's take a look at wind alert. You can see the wind flow. I love this map when it works. It's loading. Tick tock, tick tock. There it is. What's cool about this map is you can see these wind barb directions, and they're all showing that strong low right here. See that? So if you follow the wind barbs, you can see, and they're pretty strong across the country. 29, look at that. Boone, North Carolina. We had wind gusts today of bump, 40 some miles an hour. Heavy winds though across the Appalachians right now. Man, I can't believe it's snowing in West Virginia, Pennsylvania. So, like I said, you do that, and you go over here and click on this. You can see it clear as day. Go to your surface level map. I love it. We'll look at 850 just for fun. There it is. There's the low. Spin it a little hard out up there around New York. Spinning. All these winds are bringing in cold Canada Arctic air. And these winds are reaching us here across Florida in the southeast. Upping those fire chances today. And here's the Omega block. Learn something new every day. All right. Anyway, we will see everybody on Friday. Hope you have a great day. Today's Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hey, Eastlake won their big district softball game last night. Tonight we're playing for championship districts. Excited about that. Emily had a great day. She hit the ball every time, but defense is not her friend. They get them all the time. But she got 4 great outs. I'm going to do some highlights here in a little bit. She wants to put them on Twitter because she had 4 big outs last night playing second base. So I'm going to do that for her. I got the SD card here. I got to do it. I told her I'd do it. So I'm going to do it. All right. Have a great day, everybody. See you Friday. Bye-bye.